Hello, chat. I'm going to be going over the new and improved theater system. Don't be alarmed, this is a test world, so that's why the streets are red to differentiate it. But yeah, the theater system is a more dynamic version of the stage schematic system that I made that you've seen previously used by the Huey and stuff. That's how we load stuff in and out. But with this, it's basically we define a whole theater and then we can do as many sub-regions within and do the same exact thing. So it's a bit more dynamic and helpful. So yeah, let's just get right into it. So if you do slash theater, you'll see a bunch of options, but let's start with define. Uh, we can, well, obviously define the main stage and the two black box theaters. But really we can do, whatever we want with this. Let's say, for example, the street, let's say we have like an event overlay or something and we kind of want to swap stuff in and out. We can define a quote end quote theater for the street basically, so we can just swap stuff out. But yeah, for the purposes, we'll just do main stage. So if we do theater define, let's just do main stage test. It'll yell at us because it doesn't actually know what bounds to define. So let's go ahead and do theater wand. And this is basically like the world edit selection wand. Same deal. You left and right click to set points, and I added a little visualizer. You can clear your selection by clicking F or whatever your key for, swapping your tool is. But yeah, so let's go ahead and define our theater. I'm not gonna do it like crazy perfect. It's just for the purposes of this video. Just go over here. Yeah, that's should be fine. So let's go ahead and define it. And there we are. And if you go ahead and go on staff panel in your settings, you can set bound motives. That should be theater bound motives now, but it basically just gives you a debug message if you've entered or exited any theater bounds, including the sub bounds, which, speaking of which, we can dive right into. So if you do slash theater schematic, you can define a type. You can delete a type or schematic, list, load, save. So let's go ahead and define a type under the main stage, and we can name it whatever we want. We have to actually select something first. So I'm just going to do the aisle. Obviously, we'll have like the stage, the floor of the stage, whatever we want. But aisles are cool too. So let's go ahead and do that. And so now we have this defined as a sub-bound, basically. But we don't have any schematics saved under it. So let's go ahead and change that. So schematic save. Let's just do this default. So now we have the default schematic listed under that. Let's say we wanted some blue to be going on for the Teen Vogue party. Uh, sure, very beautiful. We can go ahead and save. Let's just say blue. Now, by default, it will save your wand selection. But let's say I actually don't have this selected, but I still want to save on site here. Um, we can go ahead and do that. I'll say blue with some flags. So this -O flag will save at the actual bound location and not with the wand selection. Um, let's say if we do that without it, it'll yell at me and be like, I don't know what you want me to save. So we can go ahead and do that. Some other flags here, which we can demonstrate after this, is /B when you save it with -B. When it's loaded in, it will only place the blocks and not entities. And with the -L flag, it will temporarily override any defined lights. So let's say there's a block, we we want it to be there, but a light is actually there. Um, we can temporarily override it. Let's go ahead and do -O. So you'll see it saved at the theater's location. Now, if we go ahead and do load theater location and default, we have default. We want it back to blue. There we have it back to blue. Um, so yeah, let's say we don't want to do this on site. We want it set up like the worlds where we have all the sets line by line. We can go ahead and schematic load here. We'll just do the default. We'll just kind of do that, not centered. Um, but yeah, so let's say we want to make different variants. This will be the green one. Um, and this will be one with entities. Very cool. So yeah, all right. So let's just demonstrate how we'd actually save and load these in. So we'd have to select so make sure you have your markers because let's say we didn't have the correct bound selected if we wanted to save this. Um with entities. If we wanted to do that, the selection isn't actually the same size, so it'll have to be the same size. Um, but yeah, we want green with entities. Um, but now we want green with no entities, so we'd use the -B tag for that, and you can stack them however you'd like. Let's actually go ahead and load these in. So let's go ahead and load theater location green with entities, right? So it'll load them by default, but now we want green with no entities, and it will load the same thing that we say, just with no entities. Um, so yeah, that is basically how that works. You can see all of our schematics here under our subsection. This list will grow with the more we make. We can schematic, delete stuff. We don't want any more blue. Oops. There we go. Now if we do list will be gone. But yeah, that is pretty much that for that. The next and last thing that I'm going to go over is the child theater. This is taken over from the old system, but basically we can make a duplicate of whatever theater we've defined, and paste it somewhere, basically like just for like testing and stuff. Let's say like we don't want to be doing all the schematic stuff in the actual theater. Let's make a duplicate where we can load and save whatever while with the same like relative locations and stuff. So let's go ahead and do that. So theater child main stage test and whatever we want it to be named. So we'll just do child test. Yay. So now it's copied basically the bounds of our stage and a visualizer of where we want to paste it. Obviously, we don't want to do it in the building. So let's go ahead and just go very far away. Also note while making a child theater, you'd probably want to run that command initially in where you are making a copy of, just so that it can actually load, um, or it can copy what you want to paste, basically. Okay, yeah, this seems good. Let's refresh our placement over here. It's not bumping into anything. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, and we can confirm. All right. So yeah, obviously it's gonna be broken because I didn't really select the entire thing, but it's okay for now. Um, so yeah, so let's say we just want to edit this, right? So we actually do want the Teen Vogue Party back, right? Uh, I missed it a lot. So let's go ahead and make sure I don't have anything selected. Uh, oops. Theater schematic, save, main stage test aisle, and we want that blue. Now, we do have to select, since, it's technically off-site. I don't really remember where my other marker was. Let's just see. No, some trial and error here. There we go. All right. So now we've gotten this. We've gotten Team Vogue uh with our one selection. And now we can go ahead and load theater location with the child. We can load whatever we want. So yeah, I hope that covered everything. I hope. Um, can do the list, and you can teleport to the different theaters. Uh, yeah, I think, and of course, if you delete a theater, that will delete everything. Well, it won't delete the actual build, but it will delete the definition and the subregions and the schematics of under those subregions. Same with schematic delete type. Let's say I deleted aisle, it would delete the definition for the aisle and all of the schematics under that. Just deleting one schematic type just deletes that schematic. Um, but yeah, oh, you can also redefine the theater selections or definitions. Yeah, I think that is basically that. Let me know if you have any questions. This will definitely be iterated on as we, test it, feel it out, see if we need any more additions, or I don't know, like UX stuff for it. Let me know. Any more flags that we think would be necessary. Right now it totally skips over uh Huey stuff and Blender Anima stuff. Should probably test that extensively, but um yeah. So yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.